This is WFYI News Now. It's July 3rd, and I'm Abriana Herron. On today's show, the Indiana Fever are this year's WNBA Commissioner's Cup champions. New documents named the tech company behind a data center proposal in Franklin Township. Vouchers for discounted Uber and Lyft rides for the 4th of July holiday weekend. And newly acquired funding will support affordable housing initiatives in Indianapolis.
We're really optimistic that we can continue working with families and finding the resources that help us bring solutions even in a tough environment.
Those stories coming up. But first, Indianapolis is celebrating Independence Day with the annual 4th Fest downtown. Jeremy Rubin reports what you need to remember before the first explosion of the night.
This year's 4th Fest will feature food trucks, a street party and live music, and a dedicated kids zone. The event will again take place at the American Legion Mall and starts at 6 p.m. President and CEO of Downtown Indy, Taylor Schaefer, has one warning for potential attendees.
This is a day where you're going to have tens of thousands of people in the downtown area. You're going to have parking spots that are going to be bagged off or unavailable due to the event logistics.
IMPD will have an increased presence downtown. Officials recommend for people to plan ahead of time to cover parking, road closures, and general personal safety. I'm Jeremy Rubin.
The Indiana Fever are the 2025 Commissioner's Cup champions. The Indiana women's basketball team defeated the defending champion, the Minnesota Lynx, Tuesday night, 74-59, to win the Commissioner's Cup trophy for the first time in franchise history. They won the game without point guard Caitlin Clark, who was out due to an injury. The Fever will bring home a trophy, as well as a $500,000 prize and $23,000 donation for the team's beneficiary, Peace Learning Center. The team will return to Gainbridge Fieldhouse tonight to begin a 5-game homestand, starting against the Las Vegas Aces. Tip-off is at 7 p.m. The name of a tech company behind a proposal to build a data center in Franklin Township has been hidden from the public, but new documents obtained by WFYI name Google as the company behind the proposal. Farah Anderson reports the documents were provided in response to a public records request filed by a resident of Franklin Township.
Up until now, residents of Franklin Township didn't know who was behind the project. That's even as the proposal to rezone more than 460 acres to build a data center campus in Franklin Township moves through official channels and public hearings. WFYI previously reported that at least one local elected official had to sign a non-disclosure agreement with the company, which prevented him from sharing information about the company, including its name. Google has more than 20 data centers in the U.S., including one that's under development in Fort Wayne. Franklin Township residents have voiced their opposition to the proposed data center. They say they're concerned about pollution, utility bill hikes, and water usage. The zoning request has been sent to the Metropolitan Development Commission to discuss July 16th. I'm Farah Anderson.
The 4th of July weekend consistently ranks as one of the deadliest holidays for traffic-related accidents. Dozens of Indiana residents were injured or lost their lives on the road last year, and many incidents involved a driver under the influence. It's why the Indiana Criminal Justice Institute will offer vouchers for discounted Uber and Lyft rides through its Sober Ride Indiana program. The vouchers give $10 off the rides July 3rd through the early hours of July 7th. They're valid for rides between 5 p.m. and 3 a.m. on these days that begin or end in Indianapolis or Fort Wayne. To learn more about the program or redeem a ride credit, you can go to soberrideindiana.com or go to our website to learn more at wfyi.org. And for our final story today, the Indianapolis Neighborhood Housing Partnership announced it has acquired more than $12 million to support affordable housing initiatives. Hannah Holtz has more on the funding that is expected to reach hundreds of people.
INHP President and CEO Gina Miller says the funds come from a mix of grants, tax credits, and subsidies.
We're really optimistic that we can continue working with families and finding the resources that help us bring solutions even in a tough environment.
In Marion County, Miller says the median home price has increased by over 60%, and mortgage rates have increased by 80% in just the last 5 years. The funds will go toward construction of affordable housing, down payment assistance, and subsidized mortgages. Miller says this type of assistance can really make a difference for families priced out of the housing market.
Any significant source of subsidy to take a bite out of that is critically important.
Nonprofit INHP provides housing solutions for low and moderate income families. I'm Hannah Holtz.
That's all for today's episode of WFYI News Now. Our podcast is produced by Drew Daudelin and Zach Bundy, with support from the news team at WFYI and public media journalists across the state. Our news director is Sarah Neal-Estes. Kendall Antron produced our music, and I'm your host, Abriana Herron. If you like today's episode, remember to subscribe and share, and follow WFYI on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube to check in on our newsroom throughout the day. Thanks for listening. We'll be back on Monday.